Ever since the very first Zelda game, there has been use of musical instruments, whether if it's meant for transportation or communication, if you just press the button to make it play by itself, or actually using multiple buttons to play out the melody. Musical instruments have been a very big part of the Zelda series.
Hell, they even named multiple games after a few of the instruments used in the series. It's been used in so many fun and different ways, so we wanted to make a list of our top 10 favorites.
This was actually really hard. At first we wanted a top 5, but we had to extend the list because there were so many good and important themes out there.
We also wanted to focus mostly on how the melodies sound, but we also decided to consider the effect on the different themes and their importance to the story as well. Many of these themes also have a more complete version of itself that are played in different areas and such, but we'll still only count how the instrument song itself plays.
Please be aware that there will be a few spoilers here. So, we're the Triforce, I'm Owner 1.
And I'm Owner 2, and please listen to our top 10 instrument themes in the Zelda series. A lot of the different pieces of music you can make in this series helps out with transportation, while there are some that are obligatory in order to complete the game, like the Nocturne of Shadow, because there's no other way to reach the Shadow Temple, but to the story it doesn't do more than the other themes Sheik teaches you.
We had to include at least one that warps you around, and we went with the Ballad of Gales. The melody is fine, but this theme allows you to warp to several different points at the Great Sea. When considering how huge the world of Wind Waker is, we agreed that this theme was the most helpful in the series when it came to warping. Plus, that throwback to the Minuet of Forest from Ocarina of Time is a lovely touch.
Who doesn't like this one? It's such a happy theme. So happy, in fact, that Daruna's hard-ass look in his face could only change when hearing this particular music.
It's such a simple and nice melody, but even though we absolutely love the part with Daruna dancing to the music, we have to mention that it belongs to Saria, and is actually used to communicate with her during your quests.
She can give you clues as to what you should do next, which sounds helpful, but she doesn't really offer much more than Navi already can. Though, it seems it was meant to strengthen the bond between Link and Saria, and it kinda works.
This one has such a nice melody. It's really simple, but also really calming and enjoyable to hear. Epona song is of course used to call on your horse. It doesn't really have any other functions than that, but it's the one thing that really got you connected to your horse and Malon in Ocarina of Time.
It's also used in Majora's Mask as well as in Twilight Princess, and has become one of the more recognizable themes in the series.
We can't say that the melody brings us anything special here, since it's really short, but there's no denying that this little piece is very important in Wind Waker, so of course we had to include it.
It allows you to change the direction of the wind, which you have to do a lot in the game. The little tune playing out as Link sees the wind change is a nice touch though. The Oath to Order is a song you learn very early in Majora's Mask. but it isn't until you stand on top of Clock Tower with Skull Kid you really need it.
This song is used to call the 4 giants and stop the moon. It's not used for multiple things or often at all, but this song is incredibly important to the story, since this is what prevents the ultimate destruction of Termina. Plus, I think it sounds good too.
Just like the Oath to Order, the Ballad of the Windfish is a song taught early in the game, but not used to its full potential until the final part of the game.
Marion teaches Link this melody, and it has to be played in front of the Windfish's egg after all 8 instruments from the dungeons are collected.
The melody is nice and is very important to the story and the game. You learn it early on, and you pretty much gather an orchestra to make the theme complete. Cool stuff!
Like the previous 2, the Lokomo song is a song used at the very end, but it's different in the way that you play different parts of the song in a form of duet, with the different Lokomo sages after each dungeon.
So it's used to also restore the spirit tracks around in the world, but the best part comes when you have the duet with Zelda during the fight against Malladus. The melody is beautiful, the sages gather, and it leads up to a great transition, bringing over to the final showdown with Malladus.
This one had to make it on the list somewhere. This is the most iconic instrument theme in the series, and it has many functions in Ocarina of Time, plus it's freaking Zelda's lullaby.
This theme belongs to the Princess of Hyrule, and can be used on certain spots in the overworld and inside dungeons, usually around the Triforce symbol.
Whether you have to enter Zora's domain, or raise the water level inside the water temple, you need identification of Princess Zelda herself in the form of this lullaby. The song is so easily recognizable and a pretty one, but we don't feel like placing it on top, because the melody has to be played a lot, and it can sometimes get a bit tiring. Probably the biggest favorite from Majora's Mask is the Song of Healing. Even though the full version is a lot more emotional, the theme you actually play on the Ocarina can get to you.
The importance of this theme is big, and you use it to store a soul inside a mask that can be used to take on a different form. It heals the troubled spirits of the likes of Darmani and Mikau. It's not used a whole lot like Zelda's lullaby, but it still plays a big role in Majora's Mask.
This is my personal favorite of all time, even when I only base it on the melody. The Song of Time has a fantastic melody, and it's a song I never get tired of hearing from the Ocarina, even if I have to play it over and over many times.
It's important in Ocarina of Time in the way that you have to play it inside the Temple of Time to open the Door of Time and get to the Master Sword. While it originated there, it's used a lot more in Majora's Mask, because this theme will take you back to day 1 and allow it to start over.
In addition to this, you can even play it backwards to make the time go slower. And play each note twice in order to skip ahead in time. It has multiple functions over 2 games, it sounds beautiful every time we hear it, and it is our favorite instrument theme in this series.
How did you like our list? Would you change anything? If so, leave it in the comments, and give this video a like if you found it enjoyable.
And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, because in the next list we will rank our 8 favorite mini-dungeons. Since we have a lot to do in the next weeks, there's a big chance this video will be delayed, so please be patient. Anyway, thanks for watching and we'll see you then.